shovel, move some dirt. We couldn't do this without all the efforts of literally hundreds of people over the last 20 years. So give yourselves a big hand, please. This particular project has been a long time coming. If you look at this map here, what we've got is, and I'm sure a lot of you have heard about, in fact there's a big article in today's Independent about it, the South Slope Watershed Recreation Area, which after about 100 years has finally been opened up by Colorado Springs Utilities. Everything in red outlines that area. That's the top of Pikes Peak right there. Bar Trail runs approximately this way. That line there is the railroad that goes to the top, et cetera, et cetera. So as part of that South Slope opening up, which is going to take several years, unfortunately, we've partnered with the City of Colorado Springs, and they've decided that it would be a good idea for us to build a trail that's going to connect Bar Trail. And actually, if we go to this is about 9,000 acres, by the way, so it's really pristine and really incredible terrain. Some of you may have been up there, accidentally gotten lost, I don't know, but anyway, if we'll go to the next slide, the summit of the mountain is up here. Manitou Springs is down here. Down in this direction is Cheyenne Canyon, and this runs through Jones Park. And I'm just going to assume that everybody's vaguely familiar with all of those places. Whatever's in black is already existing trail. We only need to build about 5 miles of that to make this unbelievable loop, because if you're in Manitou, or if you go down Jones Park and in Cheyenne Canyon or Bear Creek, you know you can go up Section 16 and Intamin Trail and all those things and come back around into Manitou. So if we can just build this little 5-mile piece in the middle here, we'll have an unbelievable loop that you can go in either direction. It'll also eventually end up connecting up to the lakes down this way that are being developed by some other folks as part of the opening of the South Slope. If we go to the next slide. This is typical of the terrain up there. There's a ton of deadfall, but it's incredibly beautiful. Columbine, moss. It's not old growth forest because it's all been logged before, but it hasn't been touched really in about 100 years. Next. This is the railroad crossing, obviously, and the Mount View crossing is actually up around the corner there. That's the summit of Pikes Peak. This is on one of our scouting trips to try and determine where the trail corridor was going to go. Next. This is some more of the incredible scenery and terrain and stuff that we're going to be passing through. Go to the next one. And then there's also some slick rock. It's not sandstone, but it's granite, and it's Mount Baldy is up here. Jones Park is down that way. I think that's El Magre, I'm not sure, but this is really typical of what it's like up there. I think once we're all done, everybody that uses it is going to find it just unbelievable. Next slide. And that's another one, another piece of slick rock. There's the summit of the peak. You can just see, you can't see very well on this slide, but the railroad goes up that way. It's going to be incredible. Next slide. So our goal to get this built, unfortunately, to get to this point on a road takes about an hour and 45 minutes if you're driving in a car. So while in the past we've done almost all of our projects with 100% volunteer labor, or at least a combination of volunteer and contractor, this one I think is going to stump us. If we did it with all volunteer, it'd probably take 10 years to get it done. So we're going to hire a contractor, and because of its remoteness and because of the difficulty of the terrain, we think it's going to cost somewhere in the ballpark of $250,000. Most of that we think is going to come from donors, from major grants, GOCO, some of the mountain bike companies have grant programs that are perfectly suited to this, but we also want it to be a grassroots effort. We're going to have some scheduled volunteer days up there to get little bits and pieces done and get people excited and get them up to see the terrain. So this is our big project for the year. We do have this summer, we're not going to be working on this one this coming summer. We may have 1 or 2 scheduled days. We're going to have some other projects in Palmer Park, Cheyenne Canyon, Bear Creek Canyon, possibly White Acres, and Section 16, now that it's owned by the city. And, during that whole time, we're going to be trying to raise the money and get the word out. So really, while of course we would love donations, we'd also love you to tell all your friends about what a wonderful thing this is going to be. And stay tuned for more news. Thanks so much for coming out, and everybody really enjoyed the movie. Thanks, Gary.
Thank you, Jim.